This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Not tomorrow, not tomorrow.
Mama, me can't be morning, lovely Ghanaians. Thank you once again for joining us here on your favorite morning show, TV3 New Day. You see the guys dancing all around me because it's Ghana month. It's beautiful and our music just is awesome there. Thank you so much, DJ Hitman, for playing that cool tunes for us this morning to set the ball rolling. But it's the 2nd of March. We're grateful to be alive. We can see, we can hear, we can talk, and of course we can move our body like George and Johnny are doing. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. The tune I heard the guy playing. Look, I am not sleeping tonight. I'm doing a live.
The witch catcher.
Please, you wouldn't have slept anyway. Don't blame DJ Hitman for that.
Yes.
We're going to catch witches.
It's a live band night, Friday. Look, with a tune like that on the background, and maybe a bottle of drink in front of you, and a friend close by. The night.
A no friend, right? A no friend.
You know, yesterday in the Ghana month, we went towards Jekiti,
right,
in the eastern region. Myself, General Manager of MG Digital, Francis Doku, Head of Station, Mr. Kakwating of Onya FM, Brighter Sempa, you know, host of.
And I'm sure the guys are ready to receive us.
Oh, the guys are more than ready to receive us. When we went,
do you mind to take me along?
Say again.
Do you mind to take me
Johnny,
along?
please.
I'll take you.
No, he's a small boy.
We won't take you.
But
it was sweet. It was sweet, and the air around there was serene, fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, fresh tilapia. You know,
that's the kind of place you would have to put you guys palm wine in the fridge before you take it.
No.
It's already chilled. Right from the
The
tree.
thing actually came, you know, from the
Plantation.
factory. You know, and I think that we need to be doing a lot more of these.
So the venue is Easter.
No,
Easter is the venue.
The new venue for Easter is Jekiti.
Yes.
Very well, we're all marching there. But of course, remember to send your pictures of what you're wearing, what you're eating, where you've been. So we celebrate Ghana with you. The hashtag is We Celebrate GH. So send us your pictures.
And we want to thank you. Yesterday we're up on the trends. Get see you. So let's keep the fun up now. If you're wearing Batakari, whatever you're wearing that's Ghanaian, authentic, that's Ghanaian. Let's get to know about it on Twitter, on WhatsApp, on Facebook. Just hashtag We Celebrate GH.
Great. And Jekiti is on the menu for Easter.
Jekiti. And I must especially mention the DC for that area. Last year when we went there, the road had a lot of potholes. It was not motorable. It was bad. This year it's been, you know, properly, and they're trying to compress it and reconstruct the road all
so
over.
that even if this Easter you're going with us and you have a motor cane,
you survive.
You survive.
By the time Easter is due, I believe that it would have been done actually.
Well, that means they're ready for action. At least I'm happy to say, because if you say it's that nice a place and people should be moving in that direction, and the DC and his people will amass some support to make sure their roads are motorable so people can come.
Sweet.
Then the tourist attraction
they have
will be
what looks like a sea, but it's not. It's like
a
river.
Oh, really?
But it has waves, tidal waves like sea, and the water is clean. And I'll show you photos.
It's breaking the monopoly.
Well, on that note, Jacket people, don't start learning what Accra people do at the shores.
Don't mess it up.
Yes, just keep that river or sea clean, as Johnny says it is. But guys, maybe it's time for George to take us with the news.
George has news this morning, but before, he's not going to Jekiti. We don't know.
But I'd like to go with
So
you
what's
guys.
the criteria for
I'd like to go with you guys.
You take.
I may look young, but
yes, Amma can serve a pepper, but I'm
Hey,
wondering what George...
explain, please, as a medical personnel.
Oh, can't you, when we go there, can't you serve us food?
Oh, but we are going there to relax, so all of us. So why no? Then you should look for someone else to do that role. If that's the only reason, then I won't go.
George said he may look young, but he has. We
He has
told you
wolo.
to have fun. You need break. We want to have fun.
Right, sir, that's how
No,
I'm
but okay, so
explaining
take
myself.
George in my place to do the service.
Amma, but if I want a quick some boom, you can do it quickly. You know, you ladies are faster.
Yes, certainly we are faster.
Yeah.
What can George do?
Oh, he can learn. Okay, so I can teach him to do that.
Take the whole day to prepare.
No, I'll teach him to do
I
it
can cook
fast.
for you guys.
I'll teach him. So from now till Easter, he'll be under tutorials. Don't worry.
Where?
In my house. Can't wait.
I'm packing in tonight.
All right.
Please do.
Yeah, on NewDay. It's still the Ghana month, and let's do some news here. President Akufo-Addo says Ghana needs to increase trade and investment cooperation with Germany. He said this will further enhance and deepen the excellent relations already existing between the two countries, while allowing the economy to have a new lease of life for growth. President Akufo-Addo made this known when he delivered a keynote address at the German-Ghanaian Economic Forum, organized by the German Chamber of Commerce and the Konrad Adenauer Foundation in Berlin.
President Akufo-Addo explained that an increase in trade and investment cooperation between the two countries is the only way to put Ghanaian products at the high end of the value chain in the global marketplace, thereby creating jobs for the teeming masses of Ghanaian youth. The president said his government had already implemented measures aimed at attracting both domestic and foreign investment into the country, as well as stimulating growth for the private sector.
We've introduced a monetary policy that is stabilizing the currency and reducing significantly the cost of borrowing, and have initiated a raft of tax cuts that is bringing relief to and encouraging businesses. These interventions have ensured that the fiscal deficit, which stood at 9.6% at the end of 2016, has been reduced to 5.6% at the end of 2017, and is projected to go down to 4.5% in 2018.
President Akufo-Addo indicated Ghanaian industry was undergoing a spectacular revival, a decline in interest rate, a more stable cedi, and overall the macro economy is growing stronger. Addressing the challenges of the country's infrastructure deficit, he told the gathering that his government is embarking on an aggressive public-private partnership program to attract investment in the development of both road and railway infrastructure.
I'm expectant that this forum will help facilitate partnerships between Ghanaian and German companies and create the platform that generates ideas and nurtures them into success. It is my hope that exchanges of this sort will enable the strong relations between Ghana and Germany to deepen further and to grow even stronger.
Away from Germany, let's move to the shores of Ghana, where the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament has unanimously agreed that law students be made to write entrance exams as an entry requirement. The legislation instrument has been laid by the chairman, Mahama Yariga, and debate on it is expected today. Meanwhile, Minister of Justice is expected to lay a new bill next week in Parliament to amend Article 32 of the Ghana Law School Act.
Law students seeking admission into the Ghana School of Law have been protesting against moves by the law school to make them write entrance exams and go through interviews. After a series of meetings with the students, the General Legal Council, the Committee of Subsidiary Legislation, decided that the interview part will be scrapped, but the exams remain.
The law school will proceed to do what the Supreme Court has advised them to do, which is to amend their LI to make provision for examination as a precondition to entry.
Mahama Yariga argued about 2,000 people holding LLB degrees are seeking admission into the school, but there is limited space for intake.
The MPs who are mobilizing to throw away the LI, they are still free to mobilize. They are free to mobilize. The question is, practically, show me how to solve the problem. Because the law school is saying that the only way to solve the problem of having 2,000 people holding LLB degrees and yet having a space that can take only 500, the only way to solve that problem is to have an entrance exams. You need to engage more lecturers. You need to have a budget for that. You need to expand the physical infrastructure, do construction work.
He explained that the General Legal Council has a problem admitting students.
The Legal Council say they also have a problem, and their problem is that apart from the Faculty of Law and the faculty at KNUST and the faculty at GIMPA, they don't have they don't regulate what happens in the law schools, law faculties. So there are about 10, 15 other law faculties that they have not accredited. They don't regulate them. They don't know how they prepare their students, and you expect them to just allow those students to come in without they also testing those students.
Mahama Ayariga, however, revealed the Minister of Justice will next week lay a new bill to amend Act 32.
The committee was unanimous. All of us agreed that yes, as a practical approach to resolving the issue, for now they should use an examination as an entry requirement, but they should give us assurance that they will take steps to expand the space for law schooling in Ghana.
The Friday debate will determine if MPs will throw out the LI or the committee's decision will be adopted.
You're still watching news here on NewDay. On to other news. The increasing cases of armed robberies on mobile money agents in Kumasi has compelled some of them to quit the business. Those who remain in business want the police to scale up their patrols within the communities. Here's a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
At least 4 mobile money merchants have been attacked and robbed of their sales within the past month in Kumasi. The robbers bolted with over 10,000 cedis from victims. This victim was robbed at gunpoint and lost 6,500 cedis.
He put his bag here and then he told me to pack every money we have in the bag. So I did, because I realized no one was coming to my aid or anything. So I just kept the money in his bag, and then he wanted the credit cards too. So I added the credit cards to it, and then he went to sit on his motorbike. So our boss was inside, and then he came out to tell him that he cannot run away. So he took the gun and then wanted to shoot the boss, but the boss entered and closed the door, and then he sat on the motor still shooting, and then he left.
The traumatized vendor says the mere sight of a motorbike scares her. She wants the police to intensify patrols to prevent such robberies. Some mobile money agents have already quit the business. A 25-year-old agent at Bomso was attacked 3 weeks ago. The robber shot through the metal container and hit the vendor in the thigh when he refused to hand over his sales. He has quit the business since the incident. An eyewitness who spoke on condition of anonymity claimed 3 police officers who were directing traffic close to the scene of the incident had to run for their lives when the robber fired warning shots. But the police says it is on high alert.
Once we received the reports, we made it clear. We came out with a statement. The statement was one to inform the general public that this is what is happening, and so let all of us be alert, not just the mobile money merchants, but shop owners and operators of those businesses that carries huge sums of money, for us to be alert.
She advised business owners and merchants to be extra careful when sharing information during and after business hours, and asked the public to remain calm and report suspects to the police.
There is growing concern among the public about the effectiveness of weapons used by police in fighting crime in the country. In the wake of the daredevil style of armed robbers in the country, a senior police officer has revealed to TV3 how some stations in Accra are operating with one assault rifle to fight crime. Here is a report by Komla Kruje.
Police officers have on several occasions met armed robbers, have tried to fire, and it's not firing. Recently, I think in the north, a group of police officers were faced with that situation. They tried firing the guys, it was not firing. Okay? And these are old stock weapons.
The harrowing experience revealed to TV3 by this disturbed police officer whose voice has been muffled to hide his identity. The policeman on duty at the Royal Motors and Industrial area, where the robbers attacked the company and bolted with an unspecified amount of money, is alleged to have been unable to prevent the attack because his rifle could not fire. Robbery is reported to have increased in the last 2 months. A total of 89 robberies were recorded in January, 38 more than what was recorded in the same month last year. The attacks on civilians have extended to police officers, some of whom have been killed by armed attackers. Fear has gripped some police officers who have come face to face with these robbers.
In Accra, I wouldn't want to put it on air or mention the name of the station, but only one efficient weapon. And this is a station that is stocked with a lot of men.
You mean that station has one single weapon?
That is efficient. One.
A brazen robbery attack at the North Industrial Area and a raid of Forex Bureau and mobile money vendors on Tuesday have left many in fear.
What has happened? So far, we have arrested 11 people. Policeman could not fire. It depends on several factors. Either he was caught up and he could not quickly react, depending on the professional ability or the instincts of the police officer or the professional skills of the police officer.
The police administration says it is not oblivious of the challenges confronting the personnel. Security analysts have equally raised concerns about how the police armory is handled to meet contemporary crime.
Most of the police stations that were built did not have the armory as a component. The way they were built, it came as an afterthought. So in most places, you find that the armory itself is so hot, the ventilation is so poor, and the location leaves much to be desired.
As these concerns arrive, these officers are, however, left to deal with the incessant crime rate, awaiting more support from the central government. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Accra.
Still with the police service, a security and safety expert, Adam Bona, says the shake-up in the police service is a major decision to repose confidence in Ghanaians. In his reaction to the reshuffling, he reiterated the need for intelligence in the security setup to quell crimes before they happen.
The security and safety expert is of the view, though there have been massive reshuffle in the police service, if citizens do not take personal security seriously, most of the policy drive to fight crime will not be successful.
When you kind of get to that point where you have too many of these crime cases breaking, then you have to quickly do an in-depth analysis and reshuffle. At the moment, it's around zero. We don't have to allow it to go to negative because, you see, the police alone cannot fight this criminal element. You need the public support.
In reaction to the malfunction guns the police operate with, he said, though government has procured some equipment including AK-47 rifles for the police, he is of the view if intelligence is not made paramount, nothing will change.
Rather go for intelligence first before the guns. If you have intelligence, you don't need a gun.
Security situation in the country has become a worry in recent times where armed robbers have gunned down their victims.
Members of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament will meet today and invite the Inspector General of Police, David Asante-Apietu, and other stakeholders on the need to see how best to deal with the crime situation in the country.
Vice Chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee, Collins Owusu-Amankwa, expressed the crime wave as worrying.
I'm sure we all heard the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, making some pledges that we have voted a colossal amount of 800 million cedis, which is an equivalent of $176 million to retool police service. And this is in line with the constitutional provision.
He, however, expects all stakeholders to be involved in the discussion to bring a lasting solution to the problem.
The committee will decide whether it's appropriate to summon the IGP again and also the Minister for Interior. We are not going to hesitate to do that if there need be.
Ranking member of the committee, James Agalga, suggested a military-police collaboration in fighting armed robbery.
To wake up in the morning and hear that, an innocent person goes to the bank to cash money and is shot dead, to afford to have lives, many lives lost, because a life lost cannot be reconstructed or brought back. So that is why I called on the president to consider deploying the military to support the police as an interim measure until such a time that the incidents of robbery are brought to the barest minimum. Then the military can go back to barracks.
That's it by way of news this morning here on NewDay. But you might want to celebrate the Ghana month with us here on NewDay. Just capture anything Ghana, what you're eating, what you're drinking, and what you're wearing. Just send it to us. Our WhatsApp line is 050-823-5228. Just follow the hashtag as well on Twitter. We celebrate GH. I'm Josh Queenie. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Welcome back. Well, we're going to do a very interesting discussion about Community Connect here, and Johnny has all the tidbits.
Of course, and we're getting right back into Dakuman Junction. 2 weeks ago, we reported about a place on the spots that's heavily potholed, stagnant, and stinky. 2 weeks down the line, there's been some level of improvement, but here's the shocking revelation that follows. The woes of the folks at Dakuman Junction in Accra may just linger on much longer than assumed, because Community Connect has learned that the much sought-after solution is now at its tottering stages. In the wake of the week after Community Connect broke the story of the heavily potholed, stagnant and smelly spot on the Winneba Highway, we got calls from some of our listeners and viewers that there has been some improvement. We were under the impression that the city authorities had acted on our calls as always. But our quick follow-up visit to the site presented us with the contrary view that has been confirmed by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's official in charge of drains, Mr. Saba. Sandra is a shop owner at Dakuman Junction. She explains how the businesses along the stretch pulled resources together to engage a private contractor to desilt the drains. The move, which appears to have solved part of the problem, has come to a halt due to lack of funds.
The companies and the shops here, we came together, organized a meeting, and then we came about few money. Well, and then
how much in total?
Well, we got about 6,000 or 5,000. Yeah, got about 6,000, 5 something. Yeah.
And each shop contributed how much?
Oh, some contributed. We have big companies. Yeah, so some the banks, and then the techno, and then the other shops. So they contributed. Yes, and then the small ones. Some contributed 3 million, some contributed 2 million, others 1 million, and then. Yeah. But
you say you have been talking to the AMA about this problem for a long time. Yes. And what has happened?
Nothing. I've personally gone to AMA. I have a friend at the one at is in North Carnation. Yeah, I have a friend there. I called him. I've been to AMA office here.
At Ablekuma North.
Yeah, Ablekuma North. Yeah. Nothing came out. Yes.
So. Confirm for me, this is not what the AMA did for you or the urban roads. This is just your efforts.
Yes, our efforts.
Are you disappointed that the local authority is not coming to your aid?
Disappointment. Wow. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. If you have to wait for AMA urban roads, I think because this thing has been here for a year. So very disappointed. And I don't think they will come.
Community Connect observed that part of the problem seemed solved. The points from the police MTTD office at Odoko all the way to Cap Farm, however, continued to receive the flow of dirty, stagnant and stinky water, while the point from the TCL all the way to the Dansoman Junction was dried up. Obviously, because of the work that had been done by the contractors paid with monies collected from these shop owners. These heaps of silt and plastic waste used to disturb the smooth flow of the drains, but not anymore. As a result, this densely potholed area did not have stagnant patches as it did in our last report. Yet, the bad nature of the road seems to be an unexplainable excuse for even this insurance company vehicle and this military vehicle to act in a manner that the basic tenets of insurance and security frowns upon. A matter that the National Road Safety Commission must attend to immediately. And yes, the scrap dealers are still comfortably at post on the median on the busy highway. According to Engineer David of the Urban Roads, he has spoken to this issue so many times and reluctantly passed the mantle on to Regional Director of Urban Roads, Ajua Duku, whose phone could not be reached as at the time of filing this report. But scanty information available to Community Connect indicates that a contractor is being procured to construct an underground drain to accommodate the accumulated flow of the water from Dansoman Hansonic Junction and South Odoko and the Aliu Mahama area. Is Dakuman Junction fast becoming a hub of lawlessness? You be the judge.
The fortunes of communities vary from one to another, but in this case, a matter that we spoke about some 2 weeks ago seems to have gotten some level of improvement. And here, the water that used to sit on this particular stretch is nowhere again because we're told that some effort has been put into it. So what has the city authority been up to? And when will the urban roads fill this pothole and return this stretch to normalcy? Have they thrown their duties to the wind? From Dakuman Junction here in Accra, this is Johnny Hughes for Community Connect asking, when will this mess be fixed?
I'm so proud of the residents of Dakuman that at least they took, the responsibility to fix that road because they know it's hurting their own activities. But the government should also be doing its job.
That they don't believe that the AMA will come.
It's concerned
because it's been there for a long
Many
time.
years.
But to be fair to the AMA also, they acknowledge that the problem is big and they need an underground drain. Okay. When the underground drain will come, they are not too sure. But we are told that they are trying to get a contractor to do it. But
until then, they probably could have done what the Dakuman residents have done themselves.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, guys.
So good morning to you, Mayor Nia Jesoa. There's fire on the mountain. Did you see the scrap dealers on the median? They have set up shop. When you leave the things, the people will deal with the issues.
Anyway, let's do the newspaper headlines now. Ghanaian Times says big shake-up in police. COP's Dr. Dampara Christian Yohonu, Kofi Boachi reshuffled. Also, a military can police to patrol major cities across the country. Then GRA grants 3 months tax stamp amnesty. And then finally, Ghana Health Service confirms 1 Lassa fever death. These are the stories on Ghanaian Times.
I didn't see the list that came out yesterday. I didn't see COP Kofi Boachi's name in it. So why would the Ghanaian Times put his name there? I'm curious.
And also,
the release that came yesterday didn't have his name as part of it. And you know that social media has been awash asking that, look, here's a man who has a track record of dealing with the matter you want to deal with.
Right.
There's no point reinventing the wheel. Why are you keeping him in office? Put him out there on the streets. Let him bring it. So many thought that, well, the reshuffle would have had in there someplace, even if it's not as head of operations, maybe for special duties or whatever it is. But it's funny comment somebody sent yesterday on social media that the IGP himself needs reshuffle. I don't know about that.
Johnny, you see, I am confused.
Oh, don't be.
Yes, I am confused. There is one principle that perhaps footballers will always adhere to, that you don't change a winning team.
Right.
Is that not it?
That's it.
As of yesterday, what was the communication from the police service? When the public went out and said that we are not safe, the police is not on top of the game. The armed robbers are overwhelming the police. The constant communication from the police is what? Oh, we are on top of it. And that it is because it is not everything that we let out. The few that get into the public, that makes it seem as if we are not on top of it. But indeed, we're on top of it. For me, that was the communication from the police.
Right. That's been the constant communication.
The constant communication. If that is the case, what is this shake-up for? Right. The IGP has every right to change his men, move them from left and right, up and down. But we're told that everything is fine. The police is on top of the game. The Interior Minister just yesterday told the whole Ghana that it's not true, that the armed robbers are overwhelming the police. Today, there's a shake-up. The Information Minister has come out to say that we are bringing military men to come on the street. For what? If the game is that the police is managing the situation,
why do you need additional help?
What are the additional? You see, so the people who lead us should know that when we cry, it is not because we have tears. It is because there are genuine reasons. Look, I'm surprised at this shakeup. The information we're getting of what happened at the armed robbery scene in Tema is shocking. So I'm wondering what the Tema regional commander has been moved to Volta region to go and do. We're getting information, which the police is yet to deny, that one, when the incident happened, there were no policemen there. And that people had access to the car, they tampered with fingerprint, journalists there took photographs, virtually opened the car, went in there. In fact, the photographs of the vehicle you see on the newspapers do not have the police tape that shows that the armed robbery scene has been cordoned off.
It's a crime scene.
Someone supervised this, and that person has been reshuffled to the Volta region to go and do what? If he supervised this, and yesterday I listened to the Tema Mr. The CID man in Tema, Mr. Obenifo Dakwa or Ben Dakwa or something, suggesting that Obenifo Dakwa that there were plainclothes policemen there. Look, I spoke to a couple of security guys, and they said, "How on earth do you send plainclothes policemen to a crime scene to go and do what?" So something went wrong. In terms of gathering evidence enough to even investigate this. Okay, and yet the person who's in charge there is being reshuffled to the Volta region to go and do what?
The question is still, what exactly is supposed to go and do there?
And the bigger question, to top up what Senior Bright has said, is the expose we had from the police officer. And so, no matter the shake-ups we do, no matter the rearrangements we do, if the people don't have the equipment or weapons to work, forget about it. So the retooling that we have heard, that we've been told, is very, very critical. The guns that they have, we're told by the officer, and the police has not denied it yet, that since the 1990s, the guns that they had is what they have. And I've had my problems with people who call themselves national security, party boys and girls, who hold sidearms and the gota and they brandish them, and where the people who need to protect us don't even have them. So they have a gun, it's not properly lubricated, they want to fire, it's not firing. And somebody who knows zilch about anything has a sidearm, is fully loaded and is active. And you're wondering, what kind of country are we running? Is this security? Is this it? Is this what the IGP says we must all be calm about? Is this it?
If they are shaking up themselves, then certainly there's no calm. Because like Bright said, if you have the winning team, you seemingly would have been doing this.
Why are you
but
changing?
Again, my problem is, I hope and pray that even as they've done this shake-up, it really is going to lead to some transformation.
Where is Kofi
It's going to lead to confidence in I mean, it should be translated to what we see on the ground. Well, Kofi Boakye is still in his position. It hasn't changed from what we know. He's gathering, he's doing research. As to whether that research will be allowed to translate into action so that we see a difference in the police system, our confidence in them increases is what we want. At the end of the day, what happens within their quarters, maybe we really are not interested. What we want is action. I'm also wondering, I heard, some news or talk about the fact that when the police is talking about security and they want to, instill confidence in the citizenry by saying, okay, so make sure you have CCTV cameras, make sure you've installed ABCD. Aren't they also inadvertently letting the armed robbers know what we're doing to boost our security system?
Right.
Because
so they can foil their attempts.
Yes, and so because now we know their intelligence is increasing, the way their modus operandi is changing, they know. And there are quite a number of forex bureaus that even have these CCTVs. But of course, the response they get from having a CCTV is what we are looking at. If I own a CCTV, I pick the person on camera, and then there's no action, like you don't catch the person, you don't arrest, we are killed. Then really, it's just about gathering information. Then they talk about being alert. or knowing that, okay, your name, you have to be vigilant enough to know how to go about your activities as a mobile money vendors. But my response is, even when I'm alert enough to call on the police, are they able to respond?
I think. You see, I heard that we want to install CCTV cameras all around the place. Right. And then I laughed. I said, what a country of jokers. So you install CCTV cameras at a location that's dark. Yesterday when we were driving from Akosombo all the way down, the street lights were nowhere to be found. So if you had CCTV cameras there, you just see black things, you don't identify. We are a country of jokers. The fundamental problems, we have left them all, and we're just doing reactionary measures. Where are the street lights? So that if you install the CCTV cameras, even on the Kanda Highway, that's a surveillance camera that was put on top of the traffic light at the Nima Junction, where it leads to the president's residence. Okay, where are the street lights along that lane? So that if somebody comes there to effect an attack, how do you are you able to identify the person's face? You only see black things. And how would the police, or do they have some akbala that they can use to analyze black images to say that this one looks like?
Johnny, what is akbala?
We're a country. We're joking.
What is akbala? What is akbala?
Like you are blind, I'm blind.
Are you referring to Komla Kluche?
Komla Kluche, yeah.
Okay.
And so
anyway, guys, we are ranting. We're talking about armed robbers and the increased hike in their activities. The spate, we know the numbers are increasing. We're hearing about deaths and armed activities every single day. What is your concern? What do you think we should do about it? Let's rant with George Queenan.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
The rate of armed robbery attacks in the country has heightened. There is the Royal Motor robbery, and that is one too many cases that has happened over the past few weeks. And the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, has come out to allay fears over robbery concerns. And for him, the police is still in charge, and they are doing everything possible to nip it in the bud. But till when? Is there an end in sight to these robbery attacks in the country? This is Daily Rant. Let's keep talking.
Immigration service. Sabi, I'm going to control population. I bought my name. Say foreigners, you are home, you check your baby, you baby, and foreigners, your man can car, especially brother Nigerians, your man can car, they operate in this country. Just say, see, I'm here within this space of just 1 week, just on I'm crying, I do can also daytime crowd because the looking around here, and I won't put strategies for police service in to that. To be frank, Obia is a man can that Apollo about flow, and then make office, we could do a normal lot. And I mean, some say, I don't see you, you have two because me, next person, about body and maybe an officer on my then the fire say, Omon family. Make sure more than 4 security couples. And then what you man is saying, Kendapa, Ambrose Derry, Defense Minister, and in your just say, me dream one. I know when I'm saying, let your uncle feel what you can say.
You see the sophistication with the materials now, these armed robbers use, and then we can't keep up with them. The police can't keep up with them. And sometimes, no, I think I won't blame the police because I'm handicapped. That's what
handicapping was says.
They don't have
the sense that they don't have the requisite
materials.
Okay, so who is supposed to be blaming you? No, you've been given a work to do. If you are short of anything that will enhance your work doing, you have somebody who is ahead of you. Have they even requested? They must make their plea to the government, this and this that we need. So to say their handicap doesn't make any this thing here because it is their duty. They are supposed to be in charge to.
For me, what I would say here is that the police people who always say they lack the requisite ammunitions and stuff and the gadgets to fight crime. I agree, they lack it. But they should do with what they have. Okay? But what I see here is that the morale in our police services and the security services is down. I don't know what is making the morals go down. Seriously. You could see me, I believe, because of the politicization of the police services. There may be bosses within the police service who are mafia and they are all doing themselves. I think
think so. This is where our search and findings should be heading towards these areas. Because the way the thing is collapsing, the security system is collapsing, it's not normal. It seems that there's some rivalry because of the way politicians are intruding into the policing in Ghana. So if I am taking off, I will find means to undo the one who is taking over me.
Kind of sabotage.
Yeah, sabotaging is there. So we should also look at it. It seems that what is going on is organized crime. Because if it is not organized, let me tell you, how can you say within 2 months, 20 forest bro along the Sprinters Road will be robbed? We are in the fifth day in the week. If we are not lucky and tomorrow it happens, so 6 days, some form of robbery with bank and money has also occurred. So there is some couple somewhere who is triggering this thing, and our intelligence must work as
no idea about what was anything. One, and the animal be cassa was here, Omo Candia, and no, and Abino. But Massa, I've said it on several platforms. Sub political appointing our security directors should not be politically appointed. If somebody is there on merit, no problem. That's long service. He has been trained and properly trained. Then, as Sefata said, or what said beyond. But in a situation where Party B comes to power, now or bad power, and I'm saying we a particular near fund. The technical know-how is not there. So at the end of the day, say and then now bind the waswa, say the never pay you try to sabotage it. Yeah. What you say? Young child you be in the police administration. Now, it is an undeniable fact say Kofi watching. If Kofi watching would have been in the hand of affairs of this, there will not be this total security breakdown.
I don't believe in this.
No, the track record is there.
And what's a police former? You found more. May you two book every corner. Not a bishop mufti. Now, I was I am to me, dear, and also to me, because I said your four Kruma, a body pump. Yeah. So I'm the amateur. I said your four Kruma, a body pump. On number, I said you need a flashy as is here. Obia to me a shaky. Say, hey, before we dear, Umunya. So I am from for Prana. Sir, you need to be born. So but the police, you know, yeah, last time this happened. So Germany is over Germany.
You can't police for dear. You can't mom to Tuna Jemu. You can't Omoduma among fun serious. Yet, because yeah, as a Ghanaian now, citizen, I will come as you know. You need sacrum for in it here. You need more says, maybe say areas you want to want. And if you have from a gun because we are going to pay a chin pen. You know, Musuno mobile. The kind of last time we are living and no more police. I'm more back. I mean, like, forsake you. I'm fine. Police for best, for secure, the car, and in natural. Say, yet, Mamma, for the nurse from any person may see that here. Say, and your my apostle, say, I quite visit. Will you hint more beer or be to me? I young baby.
Oh, say, ye Diminia, ye name it. That sort of mentality are your own. So, we draw Brochila. I can't. We have to compare and contrast. So, draw Brochila. Uba say, Mamma Browat and Abro Sancho. Only Pabako 1 2 Sean Tim and Tim 1 or more. Quickly. While let you. Yeah. And you see, there is another grand call to young landlords, especially on one kind of so behind Diamond indigenous on high mount. And no, I mean, now, Ubisa said, your problems is here. I will share your Zamama form and from Chad, maybe just go close to the Nebis. I say, or Memu how or Motten. Pepper Bain will cry out the team. And I have followed this trend for almost about 10 years. Anytime you see any sporadic kind of armed robbery, on its ascendancy, any other nationals, any decency. Because Ghana for no, you will Subambi or Yamua, or the Jews, the Alajani, and the Sankopo, or the Repu. What I say, and this is where the research within the police administration, they should do in-depth analysis.
Immigration service.
And immigration service.
Okay, Lebanese case, please say, bravo, Lebanese case, please say. Okay, you 200,000 Ghana cedis. That's owed 2 billion, yeah. I don't want to let the police. And then also, no, Lebanese companies in Israel, man, I've been one of team. My time is 200,000 in Kakucha. Who said this is a colonial idea? I wouldn't say by now, Grano, Obia is better. Say, me Jiska Kakucha, me Wekeska. Yeah, you are paying them on table 200,000. You are paying your workers on table. They should quickly give a statement out that any employer who is employing people more than 10 should never do such a thing. But the police decide not to take any huge sum of money. I like them. Gentlemen, and then the police will have a lot of money.
Oh, Master, no me cancel me. Police in a war me at a 10. My father, every police, so bois me bois. Why are you on state transport? Now you call the boss to do a proper background check. Now, if you check, if my record says me right, last year, 2 armed robbery cases, there were police officers involved. So you see, the society is also looking at the other side of the coin. We have a problem with our politicians, and them are buying a workshop. And it doesn't have the flair for policing. Only shall flair for that policing, you know. Changing out any police. And to me, MP. Me flair for that thing. Me should buy and show any, you know. Sadi and Yamia background checks, called school employer for it. And BNI is doing that thing. Irrespective of BNI, the police be said.
Some who gather on intelligence. There's a trend coming. They say, Yabachi, armed robbery cases, piano. You see a Nigerian spearheading it. All reports are Airbus saying, though you see the Ghanaian, but then you see a Nigerian. They say, and only trend identical. There is some foreign influence in what is going on. Because seriously, yeah, I didn't know a question. You got tried them and Sanepona. And you put a pass a hotel friend, you're not to your move. And you know, some can say you got trust in gather intelligence. Ah, you bet him on nothing. I tell you the way I go. Oh, man, yes, I know. I'm going to you a ship and you. But you guys also, you know, side with the interior minister. I'm Rosary. I said the police is still in charge, despite the. Police in okay, so the police has to wake up to find lasting solution to the incessant armed robbery attacks in the country. Let's know your thoughts on this. Log on to our social media platforms on Facebook, it's News on TV3, and on Twitter, it's News TV3. We are still in the month of Ghana. Wear anything Ghana, eat anything Ghana, feel anything Ghana. Thanks for watching me.
Okay, we're going. Welcome back. Now, The Independent begins the morning and says that China lauds Akufo-Addo Adwoa Safo for protecting public purse. And the reshuffle story and the government resolve to stamp out armed robbery is also captured by The Independent. COP Dampare, others reassigned amidst soaring robbery cases. Daily Guide puts it, Amidu gets set with Woyobe, that's the story, and police seize sophisticated weapons. The Finder has this story, SHS scrap boarding system, it is not sustainable. Professor Amatedu there talking, and the story of the joint police and military patrols activated, that's the information minister talking there. The Lassa fever story also get some space on the Finder. It says Lassa fever kills 1 at Tema General Hospital. Those are some of the papers I have here, and almost every newspaper has the police reshuffle and the response by government to deal with the armed robbers. My guest to do the talking, the Member of Parliament for the Bongo constituency, a member of the NDC, Honorable Edward Bauer is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Bright.
And thanks for joining us.
And thanks for having me.
And I also have a member of parliament for the Infantiman constituency, a member of the NPP, Honorable Kwanzaa Hayford. Good morning, too.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing great.
By the grace of God.
You have been missing for some time.
Yes, of course.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Right, so let's start a conversation with the Daily Graphic this morning. Photographs of some senior police officers. The story says police shuffle command. It is captured on page 3. The IGP, Mr. David Asante Apieto, has made changes in the command structure of the police service. No reasons have been assigned for the changes, but operational realignment in the wake of the recent spate of armed robbery and the efforts by the IGP to contain the situation could be possible underlying factors. That's according to the Daily Graphic. The statement was signed by Mr. David Eklu, ACP David Eklu, and it was issued in Accra yesterday. It says, George Akufu-Dampare, the Director General of Police Operations, has been reassigned to head the Research and Planning Department of the service. He's been replaced by the Eastern Regional Police Commander, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Simon Afeku. He's the man to be in charge of all police operations. You'll be seeing his face regularly. 10 others have also been reassigned to take up various positions across the country. So you have the likes of Mr. Christian Tete Yohunu, COP. You also have the likes of Mr. Paul Manliawuni, Mr. George Sufo, the Tama Regional Commander, and others have all been reassigned. That's the story so far. Honorable Hayford, let's begin from here. No reasons were assigned for the reshuffle, but the paper is suggesting that perhaps the recent spate of armed robbery is the reason. Is this what we need in fighting these armed robbers?
Thank you, Bright, and a very good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners. Special greetings to the people of Infantiman constituency who, through their efforts, I have had the opportunity to be here this morning. Let me use this platform also to express my sincere condolence to the bereaved family who are in pain as a result of the armed robbery which has been taking place in the past couple of days. And also to extend another sympathy to those who didn't lose their lives but who were tortured through the armed robbery that has been going on in the past few days. First of all, I also want to take this opportunity to thank the Vice President who, through his able leadership, yesterday there was emergency security meeting as a result
we'll come
of
to that story
this.
very soon.
But then, back to the issue of the police reshuffle. I think reshuffle are part of administrative procedures in every organization. You know, in governance, reshuffles are bound to come. This is the normal part of the procedures. But I would say the IGP, in his own opinion, and by the powers vested on him by the police council, has the right to do reshuffle as and when the exigency exists. And the reshuffle that he did, to me, is a step in the right direction, though no reasons has been assigned so far. I would urge that since he does it in consultation with the police council and the national security, they would be in a better position to assign the reason. But looking at the situation on the ground, people may be tempted to see that the reshuffle is as a result of the spate of the recent armed robbery. I want to hold a different opinion, but as policing, when the need arises and there is a need for a certain reshuffle to be done, the commander-in-chief of the police service has every right to do it, looking at the caliber of people who he has, the issue at stand, and the totality of how he can mobilize his men to curtail this issue of robbery. I think the reshuffle has come at the right time. I think this is the second time he has done the reshuffle when he assumed office, and I think that we owe him that respect, and we should allow him to at the end of the day, the result that will come out of the reshuffle is what Ghanaians are itching to see. We hear people asking for some names. We hear people asking why certain category of police officers have been moved to other places. The onus lies on the Inspector General of Police, because he has the information. He has all the expertise at his disposal. So he thinks that moving this officer to this place will be a step in the right direction. Remember, reshuffle comes along with certain cost and certain benefits. So after weighing the cost, the benefit is the most important thing that Ghanaians are itching. And I think that this is one of the very steps that people are itching to see. That when certain people stay in certain positions for a very long time and they think that they need to be moved along, let's do it and see the result that will come. So I think it's a step in the right direction. He has no assigned reason for that. And for that matter, I cannot speak for the police service that I have to I have to explain why the reshuffle was done. But I think that it is part of the normal administrative procedure in every security organization, that when situations exist or when you think there is a need for it, you can do it.
Just before I go to Honorable Bawa, now, if what the paper said that it could be as a result of the armed robbery, if that is the case, the police has always said that they are on top of the job and they are seen to stop the armed robbers. Now, if what the paper is suggesting is the case, could the IGP be pressing the panic button if the police is on top of the job and they are dealing with the armed robbers? Why the reshuffle? That is, if what Daily Graphic is suggesting that it might be as a result of the overwhelming armed robbery that we seem to see around.
I differ in that aspect. You see, the police
not pressing the panic button.
It is not at all. You see, it's unfortunate that we should have this spate of armed robbery in this recent time. But when you look at the statistics that throughout indicating that the crime wave, when you look at comparative figures from 2016 and 2017, there has been a drop in armed robbery, in crime wave. Right. Now, when you look at 2016, we have a figure of 202,276, and that is for 2016. Now, 2017, we have 201,936, representing a decrease of 340 in terms of percentages, 0.2% decrease in crime wave in 2017 as compared to 2016. Now we are in 2018 has just started. That is, we are getting to, let's say, the third month. The figures for the 2018, I don't have it often. But generally...
But we are told that armed robberies recorded even in January and February.
Yes.
Twice what was recorded in
so that the fact of the matter is, armed robbery is part of the crime wave. It is not only the only crimes that we have in this country, but it has happened that the trend of armed robbery for the first quarter has increased comparatively from 2017 as compared to 2016. But for me, the Ghana Police Service is on top of it. It works. If you look at the same 2016, there were a couple of instances in March 2016. The police were able to effect a lot of armed robbery cases that occurred in 2016 and early 2017. So it is something that we don't anticipate that it should happen. But then when it happens, how swift the police service is able to investigate it, ensure that culprits are found is one issue we need to look at it. And when you look at totality, I think that we should support the police. You see, people have put their lives on to defend this country.
Right.
And if there are certain things, all of us are uncomfortable with the trend of event going on. People think that they are not safe. But I want to ensure, if you look at the press statement which was given by the information minister, the information that they have put out there concerning how arrangements have been done to beef up more military and police patrol on the street. I think that we are going to see a different different trend. People should not be scared that the situation is not under control. It is under control, and for me, it's unfortunate that we have recorded these few undeserving attacks on our innocent citizens.
I'm grateful. Now, Honorable Bawa, the communication all this while has been that everything is under control. In fact, yesterday, the Interior Minister assured the country that the police is on top of the job, government is retooling the service, and so all is well. And then this morning, wake up, the IGP reshuffles his men. No reasons given. Is he pressing the panic button?
Yeah, thank you very much, and then good morning to your viewers. Good morning to my constituents who are watching this program. Let me also take this opportunity. Yesterday, there was this news I got from my constituents, a tragic death of the mother of one of my constituents, Idrisu, from Zoko. I can imagine what he's going through now. I extend my condolences to him and the entire family and the people of Asokta in particular. God will definitely get a place for them. Now again, I think I would like to join my friend to indicate that the current crimes that we have here has resulted in some fatalities. I extend my condolences to those families. I do know that a lot of Ghanaians are going through harrowing experiences. Some of the experiences are very traumatic, not because they have been attacked, but the fear of being attacked. Indeed, you have situations where these days, if you don't get home early, your wife is calling you on phone, where are you? Because they are scared. You have situations where when your wife even goes out, you don't know where she will be. Kids go to school and you are scared. It's just because of the general sense of insecurity. And for that, I want to believe that as members of parliament, both of us, our duty, and you realize that the MPs are asking for some answers. Our duty will be to still put so much pressure on the executive to be able to deliver. Because the first responsibility of every state is to keep its people alive, safe. And so we expect that we'll do those things. Now to your main question as to the reshuffle in the police high command, vis-a-vis the promises of the state and for that matter government that they are retooling them and other things. My brother, let's not, you can't see a drum and be hitting the side. Let's be frank with ourselves. The very reason why there has been a reshuffle is because of the current situation in terms of security. Everybody knows that, my brother.
But we're told everything is fine.
Yeah, so let's look at the statistics to tell you that this is the case. And I'm happy you drew attention to that. Just these first 2 months, because we're now in today is 2nd of March. Forest bureaus alone, about 20 forest bureaus have been robbed. If you look at the data that comes from, that has emerged from Kofi Annan Center, that was data picked from the police service and analyzed. The 5 major violent crimes have increased by 45% in 2017. 45% violent crimes. They're talking of armed robbery, talking of snatching of cars, you know those ones. Increased by 45%. So when somebody tells me that it is not hinged on the sense of insecurity, of course, there are crimes that we talk about, issues of, you know what I'm talking of, traffic violations and other things. Those things are there. But I'm talking of violent crimes. Crimes that will make Ghanaians very scared. Has increased by 45%. So definitely that is the reason for which these reshuffles were done. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is that, on what basis, if you look at it, I believe that the IGP, as a person, would have known that, look, on the basis of this, let me just move people around to see whether it will bring some freshness in terms of that. So I can understand that. But when I look at even the statistics itself, I wonder why the IGP himself had not been reshuffled. And that he was, because based on the performance of 2017, why his contract was renewed, particularly when he's supposed to be on retirement. Because I thought that
The only reason why you would want to renew somebody's contract is that there are some deliverables that haven't met. You understand my point? But that is for another day. Because I want to answer the specific questions you raised. You talked about the fact that what's his name? The interior minister says they were on top of the job. It is not for him to say, it is for Ghanaians to talk about. And I'll explain to you why. If you look at the State of the Nation's address that the president came and presented, he had indicated very clearly that as part of government efforts for this year to help in retooling the police and making sure that they are up to the task in combating crime, they were voting about 800 million Ghana cedis to be able to buy various items, even with helis and other things. My brother, you see, Ghanaians can excuse you if you promise that I will give you one dam in your village and he doesn't give you. They can excuse you that. Ghanaians can excuse you if you say that I'll give you one district, one factory, and you don't give them. Ghanaians can excuse you if you say you give them 1 million per constituency and you don't give them. But Ghanaians can never excuse you when you tell them that you protect them and you don't. Because that's about self-preservation. The reason why I'm making this point is that look at the statement the president gave. 800 million Ghana cedis. It is expected that if you are going to spend an amount close to 1 billion, there would have been a budget allocation for it. Look at the 2018 budget. There is no budget line for that 800 million that they are going to spend. And I'm just trying to make a point that, you see, if you read the commitment of government in the SONA, it is good for the optics. You understand? If you listen to it, it sounds good in the ear. Because who doesn't want to be protected? But if you say it for the sake of saying, and that we look at, based on the 2018 budget, and looking at the Appropriation Act that was passed for 2018 budget, there has not been provisions made for that. And you come and stand in Parliament, communicating to Ghanaians, and say that you intend doing this. Because, Sona, you were talking about the state of and what you were going to do. So for 2018, the budget had been passed before we rose in December for 2018. And there has not been provisions for that.
Could it be that the police is under the Interior Ministry, so that budget will be taken
I am saying that. I'm coming to that.
Yes.
I'm coming to that. The issue is that look at the estimates. The estimates that were made. You know, normally,
so the ministry.
Yes, the ministry. And that's the point I'm making. You see, if you look at the estimates, normally they will give, the Minister of Finance will give a broad-based figure. Then the estimates are then looked at by the Committee on Interior and Defense. The truth of the matter is that if you look at the estimate, there has not been provisions.
You didn't find anything like that.
So that is the point. That is the point. You see. Excuse me. Before you come, which committee do you belong to? Which committee do you belong to?
Lands and Forestry.
Lands and Forestry. Yeah. I asked that question because if you come, Lands and Forestry, if they bring up, particularly the bulk budget is being given, but the various agencies who are supposed to benefit from that will come and then give specific things. So you itemize the various things.
So you expect the 800 million to be
helicopters that the president spoke about. They will be
itemized. But that will not appear in the budget.
No, did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I said? I said
I get you the chance to react.
So let me make my point.
Please go on.
You see, and I am saying something because it is public documents that we are all looking at. And in terms of committee work, you and I know how it is done. I'm saying that the finance minister will put everything there, but he will say that this amount of money has been voted for that. But when you come to the committee level, at the committee level, if, for example, Ministry of Energy is coming, I'm giving an example, Ministry of Energy is coming, and they say that they have voted X amount of money for that. Ministry of Energy will say that for, what do you call it, LPG recirculation, we are voting X amount for it. For rural electrification, Y amount for it. In that of Ministry of Interior and Defense,
you didn't see
there has not been allocation for that. And this has been something that we have raised. That yes, it is a good idea to do that. Because I give an example. If you look at the current UN, the UN prescribed police population ratio, we are not up to that yet. It's supposed to be 1 to 500, every policeman to 500 people. That is the idea, the minimum you should be able to have. As at the time we're leaving government, we're still around 1 to 700. So we have not gotten there. You understand? So it means that even in terms of strength, human capital, we do not have much there. In terms of equipment, my brother, you would have known that even the current vehicles that they have are not enough. Because I do know, for example, that at least under John Mahama alone, he had bought 1,089 vehicles. We are talking about vehicles that the police needed to use. This is not enough. What is the commitment of government in retooling them on those things? Specific. You have not made provisions for that. And you are telling me that you are on top of the issue when at the end of the day, when I'm walking to my house, I am not safe. When it's 6 o'clock and I'm still in the office and there's a meeting, I am forcing the chairman to close early because I have to rush. I don't want to be caught in the middle of my journey to to my house. If you have such a thing, it affects productivity. Because at the end of the day, right, you are here working. Assuming that you are going to do news at 10. And then news at 10, after that you are going to do, I don't know wherever you stay, don't say where you stay, because people can trace you. But after news at 10, and you are driving home, how do you manage it? So this is not about politics. I'm just saying that I would have expected, and I expect that maybe in the supplementary budget that they are going to bring in January, in June,
somewhere in June,
that they will be specific and say that, look, on the basis of the parliament, approve this amount of money for us to be able to spend. But as we speak now, there has not been commitment to that effect.
Edward, I'm grateful, Member of Parliament for the Bongo constituency. Edward, so that money cannot be found anywhere. The Interior Ministry cannot provide that money.
Before I come to the money issue, let me put on record that it is untrue that the violence crime rate per Bowers assessment for 2017 was 45%. I indicated that there was a reduction in crime rate of 0.2%. as from 2017 as against 2016. And these figures, he is quoting his figures from Kofi Annan Center.
Right.
And I am quoting my figures from the Ghana Police Service.
Okay.
Number two, it is not his prerogative to advise that the IGP should be reshuffled. No, it is the prerogative of the president.
Right.
And the president, in his opinion, knows the good job that the Inspector General of Police is doing. You see, when it comes to matters of security, I think that as members of parliament, we have every right to air our view. But for us to politicize our security agency, I think it is quite unfortunate that we should be bringing such matters to it. Now, on the issue of logistics, you see, what I have seen is that our friends from the other side, as a result of their inability to resource and to retool the Ghana Police Service, they think that it's impossible for this government to do it. Under their regime, in terms of manpower, as at April 2017, they recruited 2,763 recruits. Now, under our regime, we have decided to recruit 4,000. So the numbers alone tells you that we know that policing is about numbers. Now, when you come to logistics, 2009 to 2016, when they were existing office, they provided Ghana Police Service 1,402 vehicles and not 1,800. He's alleged.
He said 1,018.
Yeah, that is what but for the 5 years.
No, I am talking about 2009 to 2016. That is the figure I'm referring to. Now, when you come under our regime, we have made a commitment to retool the Ghana Police Service. You see, when you say we have made a real commitment, he should understand. He's a member of parliament.
Please go on.
You see, in 2017, we provided police service with 100 pickup. Now, in 2018, we've added additional one, making 200 for Operation Calm Life. Now, we have also said that we are going to give 100 saloon cars to the police service and provide police service with 1,000 vehicles. He was talking about the fact that there was no provision in the budget. The president made...
particularly with the 800 million mentioned by the president.
Yes. And I am saying that he is a member of parliament. I'm a member of parliament. Police force under Interior. And Interior, we have a lot of agency. Fire service, immigration, and all those things. Force are under it. So it is the cumulative of all those agencies that they are going to make a provision for. And I don't have the figures, but I know that there was allocation for Interior.
So under the estimates, this money is captured there.
Yes.
That's what you are saying.
Yes, it is captured, but for the specific that is saying, I am surprised. And you see, as members of parliament, sometimes when we come, we have to be realistic and tell Ghanaians the truth of the matter. The president has indicated in his State of Nation address that this 800 million Ghana cedis is going to be allocated specifically for police service.
Yeah, he didn't deny that.
I am
was
thinking,
talking about the estimates.
I am thinking that for Ghanaians to know whether the president is going to do it or not, it is wait by the end of the year, the budget review will come. If it doesn't, if it comes and even no provision is made or it doesn't come, at the end of the year, Ghanaians should be able to judge whether the 800 million which was allocated by the president has been given to the Ghana Police Service. This is what I think we have to.
Okay, so so your suggestion is that as we're talking now, we cannot be sure whether that money has been allocated or not. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, police service is part of Interior Ministry. Okay. So any money that will be allocated to Ghana Police Service will form part of the chunk of the money, which will go to Interior. And it is that money that the president is saying that out of that money, 800 million Ghana cedis will be allocated to Ghana Police Service. Okay. So you see, in any case, we shouldn't be saying that where the money is there. Let us wait. You see, we've just started the year. Right. Let us see. And the president made a commitment that this will be done in 6 months' time. He said it. So let us wait. I think that we should encourage ourselves that looking at what is going on, the bold steps that has been taken by the president, I think we have to encourage the president even to do more, because the fact of the matter is the Ghana Police Service has been neglected for quite a long time. That is why we are having this problem. This is an accumulated problem from the past 8 or 9 years. And if the Ghana Police Service has been retooled very well, we wouldn't have gone to this asset that we are going.
All right, I'm grateful. I know about just 1 minute.
Let me just make a few things. On the 28th of February. And I'm talking of Dr. Enin. I'm not talking about any other person in
You're
space.
Going back to the data.
I'm coming. Had indicated very clearly, and this was data from the police service. He's talking about in fact, the headline is 5 major crimes increased by 45%. He's not talking about general, listen, say major crimes. The 5 major crimes, they're talking of car snatching, armed robbery, and those ones. They had increased by 45% in 1 year. That is the first point he was making. The second thing I just needed to do, so it is not me, and he took the data, unless you don't even believe in an institution of learning, because that is an academic institution. So if that is something you are doubting, you think that you prefer the one that was generated in MPP headquarters, that's okay by you. Secondly,
he did not.
No, I'm coming.
No. He said it's from the
police service. MPP headquarters.
He said it's from the police service.
Okay.
Please,
so let me.
No.
Let me make my point.
MPP headquarters doesn't generate any.
Okay. If you don't generate,
he said his data is from the police service.
Which police service?
Ghana Police Service.
Okay. Granted. Well, I've given you that. Take it. You see, the other point I want to make very clearly here is this. When you say you give money to Ministry of Interior, you don't just give money like that. And I know you took part in your budget processes when we're looking at to approve the budget. That even if it is that they are going to buy cars by ministry, they will state it that this type of car. And that's how we got to know, for example, that you remember the special initiative, even website, you remember the cost was, it was as a result of breaking down the total sum into figures. That's how we got to know that, for example, they were going to do what they call a website for the special Ministry of Special Initiative for 800. They were buying an ambulance for 660,000 Ghana cedis. You understand the point I'm making? This was how we got to know that. There's no way they will be giving money to the Ministry of Interior to do an expenditure close to 800 million without telling us, categorizing and itemizing the various things and slapping costs to it. And I'm saying that even that, we did not see it, and that's why we were all shocked. At least we MPs who followed the budget closely and to see how the budget is going to be delivered, we realized that there was no provisions for it. So where was this 800 million coming from? I get the point. So if you get up and say that they couldn't have put it there, what are you talking about? And so I am saying that, look, and you see, let me be very sincere with you. Let's not start talking figures and other things. the best judge is you and me in my house. How do I feel safe?
I'm grateful.
Within the current situation, that is the most important thing.
We're staying on the okay quickly, but we're staying on the issue, but we're moving to the Ghanaian Times.
Just to rebut what he said. You see, Ghanaians are safe. That is where I have a problem with my left friend. You see, when we come here and we suggest to say that Ghanaians don't feel safe, it is inappropriate. We should not be creating fear and panic. No, Ghanaians are safe. They are going around their normal businesses. The Interior Minister has given us the assurance. And yesterday, when I was driving home, I realized that we saw a lot of military men, police patrol, patrolling the street of Accra. So I think that we should not. You see, if I allow you to make your point.
Okay, go on. You can talk as much as what you want.
If we tend to suggest or to throw the information that Ghanaians should feel unsafe, then you are not doing good to ourselves, because your constituency are watching you.
I am staying on this issue. I am staying on this issue.
Just for information for your listeners. The Interior Ministry's budget for 2018, total budget.
You have a budget there?
Yes, I'm coming. For 2018, I just asked somebody to just extract that for me. For 2018 was 3,083,439. That's the total. 3 billion. I want to say 3 billion. So it's roughly about 3.1 billion, because it's 3,083,439,611. Out of this, compensation alone is 2,903,557,113.
Salaries.
Yes, that's for salaries alone. So it's almost about 3/4 gone.
Okay.
Now, in terms of compensation, capex is 50 million. 50 million. Then goods and services is 71,756,058. Tell me where they are going to buy these things from. This is the total budget of Ministry of Interior.
This information is coming from the
NDC headquarters.
It's coming from NDC Propaganda Secretary.
Let's stay on this issue. The Ghanaian Times this morning says that military police to patrol major cities across the country. Now, government has announced the immediate enhancement of Operation Calm Life, a joint anti-armed robbery, military and police operation in the wake of the surge in armed robbery in the country. Starting yesterday, heavy military and police presence will be in major cities across the country in a renewed effort to enforce law and order to ensure the citizens were safe. Additionally, there would be surgical operations in certain areas based on intelligence to flush out criminals and suspected criminals, while surveillance on financial institutions, forex bureaus, and many money vending points would be enhanced. This is the outcome of a meeting, emergency meeting held between Vice President Dr. Baumia and all heads of security services, service commanders, ministers of the Interior, Defense, and National Security, as well as the senior ministers, to deliberate on the situation. The Information Minister, Mustafa Hamid, disclosed this in Accra. And other measures they outlined included CCTV cameras on certain financial institutions to be linked to the police headquarters, several others, just to fight the spate of robberies. Honorable Hayford, this is government's response to what is happening. It has come at the right point when people need to be assured that indeed the police and other security services are there to protect them.
Yes, I was happy when I heard the news item from the Information Ministry. And right, you will recall that police military patrol team have yielded a lot of result when it comes to combating crime and when it comes to safeguarding lives and property. You recall that Operation Vanguard that was set up to control the activities of illegal mining in the Galamsey has yielded positive results. Operation Carleg, which was instituted to oversee the activities of the Fulani herdsmen, has yielded results. So Operation Calm Life, that is the current name given to this military police patrol team. I am optimistic that it's going to yield the necessary result. You know, Ghanaians per our nature, are very fearful people when it comes to the military and the police together in patrol teams. We were not hoping that this should go to this extent, but in every emergency situation, when the need arises, you put up emergency team to forestall its occurrence. I am hopeful that with this combined team, with the logistics that has been provided, I know when the intelligence that has been beefed up. Policing is about intelligence,
right?
And my little experience I have also seen is that the military men are professional people when it comes to matters of combating crime. So I think that we owe it a duty as Ghanaians to support. They cannot do it on their own. We need to support them with intelligence, because when you look at some of the crimes, the way it occurs, it goes to suggest that we need to do something about it. And if you look at what happened, which resulted in the death of the Lebanese in Tama, you recall that for continuous, let's say 8 years, every month they have to take go to bank and withdraw huge sums of money to pay workers. I heard on Joy FM yesterday when they were interviewing one of their managers that the factory has been attacked twice, one in 2014, one in 2016. It goes to suggest that when you look at the pattern in terms of crime, we as citizens should also help the security agents in helping to combat crime. So I know that this military police team that has been formed, Ghanaians should not see that it's a way to terrorize people, but then they should know that it has come at the right time to protect lives and property. I believe that we are going to see maximum results in the next couple of months, and I think that with God being our side and good leadership, tooling, logistics, the robbers, we know they are there, but I know the military police team will also look for them, and I know within the next few months, few arrests will be made to show signal to people that the police and the military are up to their tasks. They have been mandated by the good people of Ghana to protect life and properties, and I know their track record indicates that given the necessary logistics which this government has promised to give them, we should be able to control this armed robbery. It should be a thing of the past. It should Ghanaians should be free to do their own things. I mean, this it's quite unfortunate that it has. I don't want to use the word escalate, but it has happened in these few 2 months. That has really generated a lot of public outcry. But I want to say that this country is safe for the good people of Ghana to do their normal business, and the military and the police, the security service is on top of their work.
Right. So the two of them, the police and the military, anytime they have come together to deal with some situations, we've seen improvement. There is hope that this one will do same.
I want to believe so, by a clear indication that just to link up with one thing that you read on when the police service said they were on top of their issue. The fact that you are bringing military into this shows that there's a crisis situation.
It is never true.
Oh, can I make my point, please? Thank you. It's just to show that it's not the first time it has happened. I'm not saying that it's the first time it's happening under any government. Under the NDC, it happened at one point or the other. So, but I'm just trying to say that on the basis of the fact that you are inviting the military to co-work with the police, to execute the mandate, the constitutional mandate of the police, it's a clear indication that they may not necessarily be on top of the issues as they say they are. That's the first point. But generally, if you look at the various attempts to curb this wave of insecurity in the country, for me, it's something that we can all support. I'm surprised that people who operate, for example, forex bureaus will not be using CCTVs. You understand the point I'm making? Because of the level of the type of job you do and the type of business you do. And so I'm excited that they are being reminded to do those things, and particularly the fact that they are going to connect that to the central headquarters command to be able to monitor these things. Indeed, if you look at countries like, in fact, there was this article I read in the UK, where if you were to go out of your room for about 30 minutes and you come back, in terms of work, you would have been captured by about 300 CCTV cameras. It tells you the level to which areas, the level to which these things can help. So going that way, I think, is a very good point. The second point that I think is very key that we need to talk about is that inside joint operations, in as much as it brings good dividends, there could be some abuses, and then we need to be very careful about that. I say that because it has happened in the past, and it can happen, and therefore there must be some precautions on that. Even just with the police alone, if you are somebody who drives late in the night, and you get to a police barrier, and it's one of the things I get so angry about. The police stops you, and your intention is that they are going to ask you questions about yourself. They are going to ask maybe you to look at your car and other things. And the next thing they are asking you is that, particularly if you are driving a car that looks like a four-wheel, they first put down their glass and they say, "Master, good evening, your boys they here. They go drink coffee." I mean, that is not your job there. Are you getting the point I'm making? I hope that when they are put there, because definitely they are going to, look, this man hours they are spending there, they should use it to do the normal checks. I think Ghanaians will be ready to accept the inconvenience of having to stay in a bit of traffic just to ensure that every car is properly checked. Ghanaians will tolerate that inconvenience. And I believe that it is one area they should look at. Because in the past, such joint operations have yielded very positive results, but there have been some incidents of exploitation of the citizenry. And I think that it is one area we must look at. The last but not the least that I want to talk about has to do with, in fact, maybe even before that, is because my brother has already talked about the carelessness of some of us, the way we expose ourselves to crime, and that how on earth would you want to, today in age? I remember, Bright, your service time, did they pay you on the table? You know, some time back they used to pay on table.
Yeah, they did.
But at the time I was doing service, we were paying from banks. So even national service people stopped paying on the table. How on earth would you have workers and you pay them? You are talking about 200,000.
That's 2 billion.
Yes, that is huge, and that is one area that we ourselves, we shouldn't create an environment that will let people come to attack us. Even though I don't subscribe to what the PRO of the Tema division of the police said. Do you know what he said? That if these days you are going to the bank and you think that you are going to carry some amount of money, come to the police station and report, and the police will give you an escort.
Quite unfortunate.
But
I agree with you.
Yes.
Why
on earth would you? How many people can you imagine in a day? You have how many people coming to the day, and you are saying that they should come there and make that thing? I don't agree with that. So it is one area we should not even just contemplate at all. And for me, I think that we need to be a bit careful about that. At least I was watching you call it the morning rant or something. I'm not too sure. The rant. Yeah, the daily rant or what. In situations like this, the tendency to be xenophobic is high. You always think that these crimes are committed by foreigners. Excuse my language, Nigerians or Zambarama people. Listen. And therefore, we begin to then profile people and think that by virtue of the fact that the person doesn't originally come from Ghana, he is an armed robber. Let's stop these xenophobic comments. Let's treat every criminal as a criminal, not because of where he comes from, but because of the crime he has committed. Let's be very careful when dealing with some of these things.
I'm grateful. As a member of parliament for the Bongo district, the member of parliament from Fansiman is also here. Johnny, let's pick some comments.
Right. You know, Honorable Bauer made a very instructive point there, but in the graphic, all the 5 armed robbers or suspected armed robbers we've been picked up for the Forex Bureau robberies are all Nigerians. The graphic has put them out there, the police. So if you open it, you find it. They are all Nigerians. There's even somebody with a little brother in the same group. All 5 of them, only Nigerians. So then you want to ask questions about that.
Johnny, in doing that, that's why I said deal with the
it's
people
a crime.
as a
Whether
crime.
it's a Nigerian or
because we also do have Nigerians in Ghana
who are doing genuine business. I agree. I agree. But you see, those who pay the money over the counter, they want to dodge snakes. They want to dodge everything. And the snake people, they know, the GRA people know, but they won't chase them.
All right, let's check some of the comments.
Michael Amini, UK, says the recent spate of violent crimes is worrying, but the manner in which some people are raging attacks on the police, especially the IGP, is rather dampening their spirit and morale of dying for Ghana. As a matter of fact, ex-President Rawlings' proverbial assertion that he hoped this robbery attacks can be politically motivated is worth mentioning, and it's not surprising about the way the NDC are talking and calling for the head of the IGP because they are desperate for political power. We pray that the changes in the police command and President Akufo-Addo's government interim security measures instituted will yield positive results. TV3 New Day, good morning. What is going on in this country? The IGP himself is a disgrace and a disappointment to the position he is occupying. This happens where people who are to go on retirement are given contract to be in office. Incompetent IGP, you say. Bring back Kofi Boachi. That's the hashtag Osman Burkison Tamale. I pray that the good people of Ghana, the current IGP, be extended to the families of those people who think that the daylight robbery is the outcome of the good work of the IGP. Good morning to the crew. Who said Ghanaians are safe under this cruel and wicked leadership? The NPP guys think that they are the only people that can rattle and tell lies. Well, Bawa is doing a good job there. Dora in Ho. I'm happy minority has blown alarm over the 1 million Ghana cedis MIT program for the youth agencies. I cannot understand how such a whopping amount of money will be spent on 13 people in such a program, including travel, boarding, and lodging expenses, when GIMPA could have done this training here at a cheaper cost. This is the government claiming that they came to power to protect the public purse. Baba Musa is disappointed. Good morning, Bright. Can you tell the NPP man to stop quoting figures for us? My question is, are we safe? He wants to know. Good morning, Bright. Please tell the NDC people that they should know that the rapid increase of crimes in the country in recent time is not a matter to be politicized. We all need safety. Sometimes their behavior is so disheartening. Are they saying that they bought over 1,000 vehicles for the Ghana Police Service? How many AK-47 did they buy for the police service? Can the vehicles stop the crimes? Can the police protect people without arms? Let's be serious once and for all. Ama Nana in Ibri, shaking police ranks and substituting them to different places is not the key to combating crime. We have seen police reshuffle several times. What difference do we see? Nothing, absolutely nothing. The police boss himself must be changed because he himself is incompetent to occupy the position. He's doing nothing to protect Ghanaians from armed robbery attacks. Alaji Wilipi in the Fiekuma. You can't be too sure about that, are you? MPP should credit Ghanaians with some level of intelligence and stop behaving as if they alone are knowledgeable. John in Kumasi. Tijamba something from Chianapaga says, good morning, Bright. I asked over and over again, what is the MPP and IGP's own definition of safety? If you are in a long queue and suddenly shooting and killing starts from the front, do you say you are safe just because it hasn't gotten to your turn? May God save us all. My regards to my MP. Such a factual and fantastic discussion. I'm sure he's mentioning Honorable Bauer there. Finally, good morning, Mr. Bright. Please, Mr. MPP man, security is not about words, it's about action. So you should, your people should stop promising and do the actions. Moses from Adan Junction. Say talk is cheap, action is worth a while. Senior Bright, over to you.
Right, Johnny, grateful.
Honorable Hayford.
Let's wrap up our conversation. And it's a Friday, perhaps a few words from you as we enter into the weekend on the two conversations we have had, the reshuffle and then the government response to dealing with the what is happening. Honorable, wrap up from just about 2 minutes.
I think that the fact that there was a meeting chaired by the Vice President on the security situation in this country is at least an indication that officials have realized that there's a challenge that we need to deal with. The measures that have been put in place, I just hope and pray that they go on well. Ghanaians should also give them all the necessary support, because security doesn't know party colors. It doesn't know which government is which party is in government or otherwise. So I hope and pray that these measures are dealt with. Last but not the least, I think that all of us should also, as a people, begin to be a bit more security conscious. I was talking to a friend last night, and I was telling her, look, in as much as you have a security person in your house, and then you have people who work in before you go to bed, just check all your doors. check all the very security things you need to do. And then, trust me, at certain times, if you hear people either ring your bell or other things, and you're not expecting anybody, please
be careful.
Be careful. That's all I can say.
I'm grateful. Unawayful.
Well, my little advice to Ghanaians is that this is a national security issue which needs everybody on board. If you see any strange person in your community or an area, or if you see any suspicious character, don't hesitate to report such character to the Ghana Police Service. Also, people should also desist from doing transaction in the bank with bulk money, going to bank to take huge sums of money. People should do more with the cash system as against carrying bulk of money along their lives. We should also support the military and the Ghana Police Service. Those new military and police patrol team will come with some inconvenience to people. Ghanaians should be prepared to endure this situation. We know it's a temporary means just to halt the activities of these armed robberies. Once indicators are clean that the armed robbery pace has come down, things will come to normalcy. Let us support the police with the intelligence that we have. Policing is about intelligence. The police service alone cannot do it. Finally, let us also encourage the police service. It is quite unfortunate that when something like this happens, people call for heads to roll, people rain all sorts of insult and words on people with integrity. I think that we have confidence in our police service. When you go to United Nations, Ghanaian police service are rated as one of the best police service in this country. Let us support them. As we support them, they are also prepared to put up their lives on that. And I think that sooner or later, Ghanaians will see that the yielded result that they are needed will be received.
I'm grateful. So the police and military men will be there on the street so that we can enjoy our Friday live band sessions. Right, he's a member of parliament for the Infantiman constituency, Honorable Kwanzaa Hayford, a member of the NPP. Grateful for your Friday morning with us.
What's up here? Oba me come so what's up here? What me friend we at here, me dear me. Na tuni na ya disia. Dinti ya ni atia, ni mema pia. Don't tell me loose, can be bra, na blow fuse. O comfort, team and can I abuse. Oh look, imagine I see me a cute. Your papa me how much no back. Your tata me a team with feelings. I will be a mo be a you mess I get to I'm stop. And your son me when you na caught. I can tell you my damn. If you come around, hey I'm to the book. And I know I could be actually we went just out for camp. Where can I make for tea? I am ya.
One time, two times, after the big business to die. Also, crop and raise your grace. Now, brown till we catch cry. What's it? Your friend, Lady Lamborghini.
Hey, Hitman is just blowing us up here in the studio. Certainly, it's Ghana Man. So, of course, he's just reminding us of our old tracks, and certainly those were good ones. But joining me in studio to talk about women in cinema and also to tell me about their upcoming movie, I have the Side Chick Gang crew here in studio. I have Lydia Forson and Sika Osei. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Charlie, you guys, Side Chick Gang. More serious. But anyway, let's start off with some light conversation about women empowerment. Of course, we have International Women's Day coming up, so let's touch on that. Do you think that women receive the same pay for the same amount of work they do as their colleague male?
I don't think so. Most parts of the world, in our industry, I cannot say authoritatively because we don't really talk about how much they get paid.
Yes.
But I know that in most companies, women don't really receive the same amount of money for the same work they do.
But why, really, why is that, and why should that become a norm?
The question, I mean, I think the thing is, it's a norm. The question really is, how do we change it?
Yeah.
And it's really about, you know, women not necessarily asserting themselves in a disrespectful way, but just letting their value be known through their work, through their work ethics, through what they stand for, through their morals, you know. Go into the work office and let them know that without you, you know, things wouldn't be the same. Just show you value. You know, I think in this particular case, our efforts speak more than just necessarily just coming out and fighting and saying, why are we not getting equal pay? Let's show them why we deserve equal pay. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's something that we've been working towards, and I think it's something that eventually we're going to get to, so I look forward to that.
Hey, great. Certainly we look forward to that. But also women in politics. There's been so much talk about creating that space, so women getting to it. But in Ghana, do you think the reason why women don't get into it is because of how we manage our politics, or something else?
It boils down to perception. I mean, Tika made a very good point, but unfortunately, women can show their value every day. I know a great intelligent women who have doctorate degrees, who have been working hard every single day, proving their worth, but will still not receive the same pay or respect. Because when it comes to leadership, a woman's role traditionally to many people is not to lead. So people it's very difficult for someone to take orders from a woman. So because of that mindset, I'm sure that there are great female politicians, as there are great male politicians. But in speaking up for female politicians, there's an assumption that the minute you speak up for women, it automatically means men should not be valued or men politicians are not good enough. Women cannot take their place in society unless people think that they are worth it. They can show it, they can talk about it, they can be good. I'm sure there are fantastic politicians out there. Last year on International Women's Day, the First Lady hosted some women, and you know, we had the First Lady speak, we had, you know, former First Lady Nana Kunedu speak, and then she spoke very, very well. And I was just saying, this woman should be leading. Do you understand? But it is almost impossible because, again, when you're in a society that automatically assumes that a woman is a second-class citizen, you can never really make any headways. We have to change the mindset that enables these misconceptions in the first place.
Which is a gradual process.
Yeah, it's a process.
I think it's a gradual process.
Yeah,
I mean, right now we have great examples. The Chief of Staff, of course, Frema Osei-Opare, Charlotte Osei, Commissioner for the Electoral. But there are people right now who are taking the strides, who are leading the way. It will not happen overnight, unfortunately.
I mean, we are here because some of these people
have led the way.
Exactly.
So it's just something that we need to keep striving for. Like I said, with our efforts, with our work ethic, I think eventually we will get there.
Anyway,
it's a mental change, but we'll get there.
We will get there. Again, let's come back to your own field. Women in cinema. What has that been for you growing up? How did you see the cinema industry, and then now that you're in, do you think it's changed in the sense of the women who actually take place in those roles? Or still the same?
To be very honest, when I grew up, you don't grow up knowing gender.
Right.
You know, I can't speak for everybody, but you don't grow up knowing gender, you don't grow up knowing skin color, you just grow up watching great, you know, TV. I never really thought about these things until I grew up and I realized, why was the mother-in-law always the witch? You know,
she had to.
You know, or why was it that the man would always go and treat this woman badly and eventually find God and then,
you know, the woman forgave him. You know, it felt like the woman in film was always suffering, was always making compromise. I didn't think of it until I grew older. But the great thing is we have a lot of female producers. I mean, like Shirley Frimpong. So what I love about Shirley is when she came into the system, she started changing the narrative through film. I mean, most of her female lead characters, like myself, were empowered women. It taught me a lot about myself. I didn't know that I could be a voice until you might think it's just a film. I'm sure Sika can relate. You might think it's just a film till you're reading the script, you're becoming this character, and you're learning a lot, you know, about yourself. So a young girl watches and sees, oh wow, okay, so my mother-in-law is not always going to be the witch. It could be the father-in-law. Maybe there are no witches. Maybe I actually have to work on my home. Do you understand? So it's like she keeps saying, and I support her wholeheartedly. It is a process. It is going to get there eventually.
Tika, what has it been for you?
Wow. Let me just say, Lydia is also a producer. She left herself out of that. I recently also became a producer, so I have a few things coming on. So what is important here is that more females become producers, become writers, start to change the narrative through stories, you know, start to be the people who are in charge and making the decisions. That I feel has also helped, you know, just bring that shift in the industry where now females are getting, you know, more empowered and getting more respect. For me, it's been great. It's been great.
You've had a great,
I cannot complain. I started off on a very great foot. Vice had won with Famous TVs, and I was actually the first female main host of that show. And then by God's grace, I got DSTV, and they opened, you know, their doors to me. And since then, it's just been one milestone after the other. So I can't really complain. It's been great. Now I know that I have more of a responsibility to give back and to do more, and that is what I'm doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now, ladies, you are the bad chicks in town. Ooh, side chick gang. And it feels
minus
like,
one.
Yes, Nanama didn't show up, but I hope
Yeah.
she's well. But what exactly, I mean, like that movie, when you heard about the script, when you read through it, what was going on in your mind?
To be very honest, when I saw the title, I'm like, I'm not trying to be anybody's side chick, you know. But you know what I love about Peter is he has a smart way of telling a story without forcing people's perception. He has a way of dealing with a serious subject in a very light-hearted, you know, manner. So the more I read, I kept on laughing, and I'm like, this is a conversation people usually have, but not with so much, you know, humor. And then, you know, I heard the actors in it. I heard Sika. I think when I found, I didn't call you. I wanted to wait
and get on set.
You know, because I've said it over and over that the great thing about what we do is the sad thing is we know each other, we become friends, but then we don't always work you know, together. So when you have opportunity to work with someone who is your friend, who you get along with, you're like, this is gonna be a walk.
It's an easy walk in the park. Sika, for you, what was that like?
Oh my goodness. First of all, I'm in a film with Ajeti Annan, Lydia Fawcett, Nanama McBrown. I mean, am I not the luckiest girl?
You certainly are.
And you are. We are lucky to have you as well.
Thank you. So I had been trying to do stuff with Peter even prior to Keteke. So when this particular role came, I felt like he already knew who he had in mind. He knew Nanama, Lydia, and Sika, you know, we're going to be a good combination. He was not wrong. It was explosive on set. So I'm so grateful that I've had an opportunity not only to work with Peter because he's a fantastic filmmaker, but also to work with Lydia.
But guys, like, you know how when women come together, I mean, people think there's always fireworks, but how has it been for you three?
Oh my goodness.
See, and this, again, then that's why we have to work on changing this
the perception.
When two men fight, nobody says men are their own enemies. And men fight every day. They fight over women. They take someone's wife. Men do the same things. Humans are flawed. So it's unfair that whenever two women, you know, clash automatically, or when a woman does something, she's too emotional. We are emotional people. When we got on set, if anything, we ganged up against, you know, the team. Like, we're like, okay, we are not good. What time are you coming? Okay, all right, we're going to be the same time. It was Nanama. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
She is
fantastic.
You know, sometimes what we do is, you know, I always say being famous is millions of people having a perception about you, which may not always be right. But when you meet Nanama McBrown, she is one of the most selfless people. She's amazing on set. There was no diva
at all
really on set. Like every time this girl sits here and goes, I was in a movie with Lydia Foster, I'm like, I was in the movie with Sika. Do you understand? It was just, and we pulled off each other's energy. Nobody was trying to outshine the other. There'll be a scene and we're like, okay, Charlie, let's do it like this. Oh, no, Sika, the way you did that one, it was nice. Good, so we were all trying to big each other up. And I hope people see that in the film.
Yes. You know, but coming together for you, let's say you knew each other and then you knew you were going to do this role, but the fact that you're going to be side chick gang, wasn't that, I mean, the whole Ghanaian thing, hey, side chick, how did it play out?
They say controversy sells.
Right, it does.
So when I heard the name, initially I was taken aback. I was like, side chick gang. Okay, let me read the story. Because everything is in the story, you know? I read the story, I thought this is a fun story. And at the end of the day, there are lessons to be learned. There are values. There are things that people are going to take away from. So I felt, you know what, this is a project that I want to be on. And then when they said Nanama and Lydia, case
it was a done deal.
Case closed.
Let me just check if Lydia has her camera here, because I know you are some secret photographer in that thing.
You know, today I'm off.
Okay, you're off duty.
But I have my cameras
around.
Around.
So who are you looking out for? What are you catching? What are you spying around for in this whole business?
Well, the film is basically about, and I also explores the story of unemployment.
Okay.
And finding opportunity where there's vacancy. We are 3 girls. We're trying to hustle it out and make life work. We had an idea of what we thought we wanted to do. And then we chanced upon a man doing something he should not be doing. We did not even go with any intention to make money, but we did. And then Nanama, being the gang leader, says, that's how, for every cheating husband, there's a wife that wants to know. So how can we make profit?
Money out of this.
You know, so really started off as something fun to make money. But like she said, you know, as the story unfolds, there are lessons in there for both men and women. And you realize that things are not always as simple as they are. It's easy to say, okay, this girl went to sleep with my husband, or this man went to take this place. But you learn that in life, as you grow, relationships, there's so many, you know, layers to it that it's never as straightforward as we want it to be.
Sika, let me put a hard one to you and then we'll wrap up.
Give her the hard one.
Yes, because I know you're into law as well, so maybe you put a whole lawyer thing to this. Do you think, putting yourself in that role, that now you understand side chicks better, or you can identify with them and the reasons for which they do what they do?
There's no one particular reason somebody will do something, and I think it's not my place to say this is the reason why someone does this, you know, judge them or whatever. What I do understand is that human relationships are complex, regardless. It's not up to the third person to look into someone else's relationship and judge and say what is right and what is wrong. You know, I think we as humans owe ourselves just the need to be good to each other. I think that's the most important thing. And honest to ourselves and to each other. So if you're in a relationship, truthfulness, communication, I feel like that's the most important thing, you know? So this is a movie that I feel has taught me that. I don't know about you.
I mean, I'm just sitting here listening to her answer. It's like so brilliant.
She's
like
you're
so
great team. You guys are good together.
You said it. Human relationship is complex as it is. I think all we can do is be honest, but even in being honest, there's a lot of fear that comes with that honesty. Because if people felt like, you know, their honesty would be appreciated, they'll be a lot more honest. So it's just, it's not forgiving flawed people, but it's just accepting that we are all flawed and we are working and trying better.
Right. But guys, when is the premiere? Where? How much are we paying?
4th and 3rd. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Peter.
Peter, no, she made a mistake.
So on the 3rd of March, that's this Saturday, Silverbird Cinemas, West Hills Mall and Accra Mall. What we are doing is we're going to show up at both places.
That's right.
I don't think it's ever been done. We're going to make sure that we show up. Because
split yourselves in two.
No, we're all going. No, we are working. It's
money making venture.
Because fans go like, oh no, where are you going? People want to see you. It's the only time you get to really interact with fans. And tickets are going for 40 Ghana cedis. Yes, we are adding the pet. Let's support, you know, black film. Let's support, you know, Ghanaian cinema. Yes.
Certainly, guys, we must support our own because it's Ghana Month. We're celebrating Ghana and everything we do, our industries, of course, the cinema industry and the women in it as well. I have been speaking to Sika Osei and Lydia Forson from Side Chick Gang. They're premiering this Saturday. Make sure you make your way there to watch it. Well, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more. Stay here with us on NewDay.
Good morning, and part of the Ghana Month celebration, we are giving you all the great songs, the local ones. Very exciting, very exciting when the high live, the hip live, and all the how do you call the other one?
Hip hop,
dance hall.
There's Afro pop as well. I wish you could play something from back in the day, like from Thong Ramblers, like Knock on Wood, you know, something like that, or maybe Machi Dete.
I know DJ Hitman is
No, it's
the man is not a chief. What is his name? Is it
George Darko?
No, Amachi Dede.
Amachi Dede. I go. Asante Ashima
the
go.
name. I said, something.
Anyway, so we'll show you some of your pictures, but there's a message that we got off WhatsApp, Bright. It's shocking. It says, "Good morning, TV3. I'm Bright, and I'm a police officer in Tema, 25/01/2018. I was attacked by armed robbers around 5:30 p.m. while going home after work, and they wanted to knock me down with their vehicle. I was mocked by the armed robbers asking me if I call myself a policeman, where's my gun? And that the driver asked one of his men to show me their gun, and he did, and the letter sped off from me. I called our police information room many times. The calls were going, but no one was picking. When I went to the information room, I was told that land phones are not in use due to the lack of revenue to pay the bills to the network provider. We, the policemen in uniform without weapon, are not safe, as well as when we close from work going home, our life is not safe, and our way to work, our life is not safe. How come the life of the citizens, how can the life of the citizens be safe? And it says most of the AK-47 we have cannot be used. Even the ammunitions have been kept so long, which can be fired in times of robbery. Okay. So that's a policeman telling us.
And I'm happy someone within the system has even identified that their phone lines don't work.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I told you, I tried it once, and even the reception, when it actually goes through the reception you get, because this is me thinking there's a thief on the next land. I'm calling to give information, and they ask me to shout because there's so much noise behind them they can barely hear me. And I thought if I wanted to shout, I might as well have alerted the thief that I'm calling police on you. You know, so they should work all that out. It all feeds into the system. And that's
while we're talking Ghana security, it looks like two lovebirds. Somebody's trying to photobomb. Look at the guy behind there. He's trying to.
Oh, he's only looking. But
no, he's getting involved in the picture. He has not been caught, but he's getting inside. But that's Ghana for you. This is lovely as well. This is sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, Batakari as well. Come on. What has Coco done to the TV?
No, Coco doesn't come
okay, the pictures are getting messed up.
Okay, so that's it. That's Batakari there. That's nice. And brothers have set tables before them in the presence of the enemy. I hope it is not rats though, because Lassa fever
is real.
So there. Look at the volume of fufu.
Johnny, but
is it fufu or bang?
This is fufu. It's fufu.
3 pieces.
Three a piece. 3 on each side.
Johnny, but see the lollipop there. I mean, they even have dessert for after meal.
There are others coming, that's why.
The others coming where?
They're coming to join.
But they've started the meal already.
They've started the meal. Where are you joining from?
Oh, good.
Okay. We'll join later.
So let's see if we can have...
I see one in the pot. Oh, you just skipped it.
No. Well, so that's Nutako. With our makeup lady, Ama. Sweet. Media General Goswa.
It will not change anything.
Okay. That's it.
I think that's someone dressed up for school, because I know most of the children are doing some...
Yes, like they do that for the career day. I see. Oh, okay, nice. Here we go. Nice. The devil is a liar.
Oh, true.
The devil. So those of you
in Lent, we are in Lent.
Yeah.
Why are people tempting people like that?
But it's fish.
Be considerate of your brethren.
It's fish.
This is fish.
It is.
And a few. Charlie, but the combination is wicked though.
It's not easy.
There's tilapia, there's avocado pear, there's egg, boiled egg, there's the plantain, and there's hot pepper. Oh, Africa is sweet. Wow. Look at that. Wow. This is adamification. Wow. I know where this comes from. It comes from Auntie.
But is this for one person?
I suspect the online guys. Ifa and Stephen and the rest.
They're sitting on a table covered in Guinness.
Yes, Kwame Amo and Kelvin. I suspect the online girls and the guys there. Yes, this is lovely as well. And he stopped. He actually stopped to take the photo for us. Two ladies.
Business.
Yes. Okay,
Nice.
brother, getting ready for the mosque, I guess. Yes, sweet. So
That's
first shot at work.
Hey, Charlie. I haven't seen this in a long time.
Oh, this is what we call lapa, eh?
Yes.
This is lapa.
Kola, wabo kola.
Okay.
This is the best Ghanaian I've seen so far.
This is nice. Oh, chicken. Bryce, do you remember back in the day, the chicken legs and the chicken neck? That was the ish.
The posh people don't know how to chew that
I've
part.
forgotten the name. That they were very popular.
My brother.
Hey,
my brother. He's not wearing Ghana, but he's
exactly.
eating Ghana. He's eating Ghana. Yeah.
Nice.
Charlie brothers, they like you. Okay, we are back where we
These
started.
men are killers.
Anyway,
for the day.
let's say thank you to our friends in JKT. Yesterday we were there with them. It was exciting.
But do remember the hashtag is We Celebrate GA.
So yesterday we were out there at JKT. And this is what we saw. That's the beach chief there.
He's in charge of the beach.
Yes, he's in charge of the beach there. So there's Mr. Kakwati, head of station at Dunia FM, Asempa Chadide, Francis Doku, GM of MG Radio. There's Gordon. And so yesterday we stopped by the Dodi Princess, and IIQ was there with us. Sweets. We're touring Ghana. And Bright, this is what I saw that blew my mind.
Spot.
Yes, that's Bodambo.
Bodambo.
Everything there is sold in bottles.
Yes, and you Bodam. Yesterday we went to consult the gods for our fight on the set of
And you're both going to the same river. So the God, who should he listen to?
Asempa went there and I followed him there because I want to meet, and then we went to eat fufu.
Nice.
You know, went to what we drank before we ate the fufu is
palm wine.
It's a matter for another day. We'll talk about it.
But we are grateful you're able to make it here today.
Oh, you know that tonight we're meeting at the BN.
Yes, that's the weekend. Yes, Johnny, I am not leaving.
That's what.
Even I used to have a friend who says that, well, as for the weekend at BN Pub in Bubuashi, even if you cut one of his legs off, he'll look for a some wooden stick and put it there.
Prosthesis and just fix there.
And go. So a great night over through the weekend.
BN. And big one there, the Arts and Tourism Writers Association of Ghana launching or inaugurating the executive today, 10 a.m. at the Accra Tourist Information Center, right opposite the Flagstaff House. Francis Doku is Vice President, William Asiedu is President, Mike Yamo is Secretary, Kwame Dazi is PRO, and Maoli is Research Officer. So we'll be inaugurating it to shift the paradigm in the arts and tourism enclave. And Haruna Nelson celebrations is tomorrow.
Great.
We'll see you
So
tomorrow.
all those getting married, all those burying their family members.
Don't let the armed robbers stop you. Go out there and enjoy the live band. A great one is at BM tonight. The live band is there. Be there.
DJ Hitman.
And be part of it.
I'm actually there for you. Have a blessed weekend, guys.
Yo